right, Deb, here we go.
Welcome, everyone. We are so excited to be with you today for our first of many amazing conversations with the two amazing women at Divorce Resource Center of Colorado. This is Deb Johnson and Suzanne Chambers Yates, and we are here from Divorce Resource Center of Colorado, committed to helping people divorce peacefully while preserving their family's assets and helping them create a stronger post-divorce family. You can learn more about DRCC at drcofcolorado.com, and let's dive right in.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first segment in our weekly video series that we've called The Devil's in the Divorce Details. And we wanted the series to address both the emotional and the financial aspects that everyone faces in divorce. So we've come up with topics such as, should I stay or should I go? Understanding and preparing for the actual process itself, attaining financial independence. And you know, in most relationships, early on, there's a division of duties, and one person ends up being the household engineer, and the other person brings in the bacon and handles the finances. So at the time of divorce, one of the spouses is feeling very much behind the eight ball and doesn't really know where to start to get up to speed. And of course, we want to talk about how and when to tell the children. So today, what we're going to do is kick off the first segment with one of the most pressing thoughts, and I've been asked this a couple of times as I'm talking to prospective clients. Do I dare divorce during the global pandemic? And I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on that, Suzanne.
Great. You know, it is a question that is pressing at this time. And for some people, COVID-19 quarantine has either enhanced their and strengthened the relationship with their spouse. But for others, it's caused repressed feelings to surface in thoughts like, my marriage isn't working. I'm feeling unhappy. I've seen my spouse bring out the worst in me. I've realized the only reason I'm in this relationship is because I'm worried about financial devastation or the uncertainties of the unknown. I need to stick this out because of the kids.
So, Suzanne, some people are probably in that camp of being ready to divorce, in which case they should obviously contact DRCC for a consultation to talk about next steps, but others may not be so sure. So will you talk about what people might want to consider to decide if they are ready or not to start the process?
So I suggest that people carefully consider two questions. One, do you and your spouse both want the divorce? If the answer is yes, you might be ready. If the answer is no, it may not be the right time. In our experience at DRCC as divorce mediators, when spouses are on different pages, whether one wants the divorce, one doesn't, it adds an extra layer of issues. The second question is that, are you and your spouse able to take the necessary steps at this time? What I mean by this is that, are you and your spouse able to peacefully and respectfully have discussions about what you both want? If you have children, I would carefully consider this question, because you need to be able to shield your children from marital conflict. The second part of that is, are you and your spouse able to cooperatively share and gather information together in this time?
So whether you're in a place where you feel like you can move forward or not, there are some steps that people want to take before they begin that process, right? So these steps are really intended to get you prepared financially. So Deb, could you tell us what those steps look like?
Certainly. You know, first, as I've thought about it, I can really see no reason that the divorce process couldn't begin during the COVID-19 crisis. But if you're still having twinges of uncertainty, you may want to take advantage of this time to begin preparing for the financial realities that everyone faces post-divorce. For instance, DRCC's made available a financial checkup, your financial savvy, if you will. And actually, it's a quiz. There's about 15 questions on it, followed by a scoring matrix. And this is really a good place to start, because It will really show you what you didn't know that you didn't know about your finances. And secondly, it's a good idea to start thinking about yours and your spouse's guiding principles. You know, we always have said that the marriage may be over, but the family goes on. So I feel it's important that you work together to come up with guiding principles and also to address priorities. So DRCC's also made available, it's a worksheet to ponder your priorities. And we've also had another column on there to think about your spouses, because it's interesting to find out the real difference as the process unfolds between your priorities and what you thought that your spouse's priorities were. And you know, the other thing that is, I think, important at this time is think about what financial security means to you. Money means different things to different people, and financial security means something different to everyone too. So be thinking about that, because, you know, you'd be working to craft a realistic financial future for yourself and for your kids. And then, you know, finally, we want to think about the best interest of the kids. What about the family home? Is it going to be safe to relocate them from the family home? What about their education? What about relocation? So it's really important to start thinking about those things now. And then finally, as time and of course privacy would permit during this time, it's a good idea to start gathering and identifying your different assets in there, you know, and the financial savvy checklist, the quiz I was talking about, you know, it asks some things that are really thought provoking, like, do you review your tax return? Do you discuss it with your spouse or the tax preparer? Or do you just blindly sign on the line where you're told to sign on the line? You know, the other thing that we want to spend time understanding, where are our investments? Do we have investments? Where are they held? Do we have retirement investments? So it's a good time to start thinking about that. And we've developed some tools that we'll be sharing with you in our segment on financial independence. And basically, there's so many different topics that are important to help people feel secure in their newly created financial future. But we've broken it into two segments. So on May 22nd and May 29th, we'll be discussing in detail, you know, attaining financial independence. And don't forget, you know, also it's important to take an inventory of your household goods, of personal property, of any heirlooms that perhaps you received from your family, any inheritance, any gifts or bequests that you received during the marriage, because those all have a certain treatment at the time of divorce. So
Deb, what I really appreciate about the approach that DRCC takes to all of this is this truly wholesome blend of compassion and knowledge. And with your background in financial services and both of you being certified divorce financial analysts, you leave no stone unturned. So that's really something that I appreciate, that helps you stand apart from the average lawyer or even mediator out there. So thank you for all of your expertise that you bring to the table. So everyone, please don't forget to go to divorceresourcecenter.com/divorce details. And that's where you will find that complimentary financial checkup checklist and the checklist to develop your priorities.
great.
So what else can people do to prepare and gather and organize all of their financial information if they are deciding to move forward, Suzanne?
So there's another huge component besides the financial piece and trying to figure that out, as Deb laid out. There's also the emotional piece. You are trying to basically untangle your marriage. So also what's really important in this process is getting prepared, getting yourself prepared by thinking through how you want to tell your spouse, how you want to tell your kids. Spend time journaling that, role playing with yourself or thinking it through. That's really important, because how you tell your spouse, how you start the conversations, how you tell your children really sets the tone for your family moving through the process and post-divorce. Like Deb said, the family doesn't go away. It's just different. And so think through what that might look like for you, what you want post-divorce for yourself, for your family. Put those things down, because those are a really important piece of this process that we at DRCC can help you through, that the legal process going to court doesn't. They're really important because you are a whole person. You're not just a financial and a legal piece, right? So think through how you want to clearly communicate those things to your family members. Think through how you want to tell your spouse how you want a divorce. Think about post-divorce on the other side, what you want your life to look like. Kind of get yourself sorted out. Then when you approach your spouse, think about how you both can together decide on a date and a time and a neutral location to have this conversation. Remember, if it escalates, pause the conversation, especially if kids, make sure that they are shielded from these kind of conversations. Just in case things get heated, they don't need to be a part of that. Also, you can prepare yourself by remembering that you're also going to have to listen to what your spouse wants. Even if it's different, just remind yourself that's okay. You're two different people. You're entangling this. So get yourself in a place where you can listen to what your spouse wants. That will make this process so much easier for the both of you and less costly.
Thanks, Suzanne, for bringing that up. It is so key, and I think it's such a critical part to our holistic approach. Mm-hmm. You know, where there's a small part that's legal, but of the remainder of the divorce pie, half is financial and half is emotional and the kids. And we need to pay attention in those proportions to how we take someone through the divorce process. Mm-hmm. So if you feel that you're both ready to proceed peacefully and begin the divorce process, you know, I would just suggest that you reach out to DRCC, and you could schedule on our website either a 20-minute complimentary consultation, or we're offering a 90-minute consultation where we present to you the Divorce Resource Center's process, and we also share with you what a sample divorce financial plan looks like and what a sample parenting plan looks like. And we do charge $250 for that consultation. And we do because not only will you receive information and education before you start the process, but we ask you to bring some limited financial data to us, and we can share some outcomes, different possibilities that you might be able to expect as you work through the divorce process.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't think you're ready to begin the process, if you think now is not the right time, you know best what's right for you and your family. There are some things, there's two things that you can do to move forward. You can spend some time thinking through, like I discussed, your goals and interests post-divorce. And on our website, like Deb said, you can find our priorities checklist that can help you kind of mentally think through some of those things that you need to start thinking about. You can also begin to gather, like Deb said, your financial information. You can do things to move forward. You don't have to feel stuck. You can also reach out to DRCC. We provide divorce coaching, certified divorce coaching, and we can help you as a thinking partner. Think about whether I'm ready or not. How do I tell my spouse? It's another resource that we offer where you can sit down one-on-one with myself, and we can talk through, how do you want to do this? Where do you get started? You can meet with Deb to talk about, how do I get started financially? So we're really trying to help you to peacefully go through this process so your family can be stronger post-divorce than maybe you even are now, feeling more secure and feeling more confident in the decisions you're making and the direction that you're headed for your family.
Great. Well, that brings us to the conclusion of our show, our first segment today. And I want to thank everyone for sharing some of your Friday afternoon with us. It's important to us that we're able to educate the divorcing public, because our dream, our goal is to change the way society divorces, one family at a time. And so stay tuned next week, where our series is entitled, or the segment of our series is entitled, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And don't forget to check the website for more information, or to schedule, and also to download the complimentary forms we were talking about. And everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and be sure to visit divorceresourcecenter.com/divorce resources. Divorce details. And we'll see you again next week, Friday at 2 p.m. Mountain.